Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and this is Out of the Park Baseball 25. I have just downloaded it like 30 seconds ago, so I'm excited to see what this is all about. Let's see what it is all about. And of course, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But let's sink our teeth into this. Now, the first big thing, the new thing, is this Hall of Fame showcase. So let's go see what this is all about. It's coming soon. Well, that's something to look forward to. So we'll come back to that at a later date. Good start to the video, that, isn't it? All right, well, let's go and start a game and see what it's like under the show. Now, one thing, and this is excellent, is that there's more leagues back this year. So not only do we have Major League Baseball and the partner leagues, there's also the British National League, which I've got to say I didn't know there was one, as someone who lives in the UK. Honkball is back. I loved Honkball when we were there in a Journeyman a couple of versions of the game ago, so that's exciting. And the Korean League, obviously, as well. But we'll just load up Major League Baseball just for the purposes of a quick look here. Alright, so this is our setup screen. I'm gonna load up with my beloved Mets, and that always let me down. So you can see all the ins and outs here. I'll just play as the GM, that's just what I tend to do, but obviously you can play as either the manager, sort of in the dugout, and not control anything, or you can be both. And commissioner mode, and cannot be fired. Depends on how you want to play. But yeah, so that's all of that. Let's get this thing started, though. Alright, so first thing you've got to say is that it does more or less look the same. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because I find it's quite easy to navigate. But the base screen here has not really had any major upgrades that I can see. But there is going to be things that are different. So this all looks roughly the same. So that's all fine. We don't need to go into settings, organization. Now, the one thing that is new is the player development thing. So we're going to go and have a look at that as soon as we get there. But we can see everything here: the international, free agents, the amateurs, that is, isn't it? And the transaction log, pitching. So that all looks roughly the same. Looks as though the manager has a lot of control over things here. The lineups again all looks roughly the same. Now, obviously, you can change to see different things there. But again, that's all roughly the same as it was, isn't it? Strategy again that's a little bit different, isn't it? Strategy is one thing I don't like doing, so that's why I just GM. Front office, is this where we're going to see the new thing? It's probably on the player development, isn't it? The player development thing. So again, this is all looking more or less the same, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing, given that there's always a lot to like about this game, but you do like to see a few things change here and there. But yeah, that's all fine. So play development. This is going to be it here, isn't it? The development lab. So let's see if we go to get well, you probably want to do this with younger players, I would have thought. And the other issue might be there's no available programs to complete before the season begins. So the problem we're going to have is that we're essentially at opening day, and we can't really see this. Now, what I imagine is going to happen as well is that this is going to be something that develops more as the season goes on, as seasons go on, I should say, as you play through the game. So I'm hoping that you still get the randomness in it. I'm hoping that, you can't make a half-a-star player turn into a, Hall of Famer by the time they get to the end of their career. But it'll be interesting to see how this does develop. It's a little bit... here we go here. So these are the different ones that you could do. So yeah, base running, and so now this is, you do it during spring training, is my understanding. So it's not something that's available at all times of the season. It is more for spring training. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Or some of these things obviously will go on through the season. So yeah, it's available during off season and pre-season. Now, I'm assuming that you couldn't start a 4 to 5 month thing in spring training. You'd have to start it in the off season, and they'd work on it then through the off season, ready to go for the new season. So I'm really, really excited about this. This is an excellent feature, and yeah, like I say, we're only going to really know as we play through how it works out, I think. Scouting looks more or less the same as it has done. Recently scouted players we can see there in the internationals. What's the league overview? So that's how much money everybody in the league has. So that's all fine. And info all looks, so this is, so schedule has moved, because schedule used to maybe be its own thing up there, was it? Team stats, batting, yeah, so that's all roughly the same as it has been. So that's good. Let's go and have a look at a game, though, shall we? See what it looks like when you get in there. All right, now there is some differences here, which, now this is good. So this is clicking on the player to get into their profile. This is, of course, my boy Blue. So BAPIP and Avoid K's is all under contact now, so it's not necessarily its own thing. And then, so that, yeah, that's probably a good thing, isn't it? This does actually look a little bit different. Now, if we go in here as well, set the developmental focus. So this... So we can play around with this at any point. So they will develop in a certain way. So this is all okay. So this is very, very different then. So you can through the season work on different things, but you can then do the extra things in the player development lab. This is brilliant. This is really, really good. I'm excited for this. This is going to make it a lot more less down to luck, I think, you know, on whether or not players develop and how they develop. So the amount of times that you draft somebody and say, oh, if he just had this, you should now, in theory, be able to work on that so that they do have it. So I am very, very excited for this. Now, yeah, so defense is a thing there as well. So that's excellent. Really, really excited for that. And so presumably, if we go and have a look at a picture, we're going to have I'm just randomly picking things here. So that's... oh, this is going to test my knowledge of home runs against, I guess that is, and pitcher BAPIP. So yeah, that is all good. And then presumably, if we go to set developmental focus, movement control, and all the stuff is there. Now you can't add. It doesn't look like a pitch to their repertoire, or certainly not at this point. But that would be a nice thing as well. But I don't know if it's not an option or if it's just not an option. Sort of essentially on opening day, but huge. That is huge development. Well done to them. That's going to be very exciting. All right, so this is the pre-game screen. Now this does look a little different. Now as ever, I will give all this to the coaches. I may not have set this up completely correctly, but that's fine. I'm not going to play around with this too much now. We'll have a look at what the default settings are like, and then I'll switch it to what is usually what I like. We probably want to turn this down a little bit. But anyway, we'll see you in there. Yes, sort of roughly the same stats. It looks as though we should be favourites to beat Milwaukee. Not that we'll do the whole game, I don't think. All right, so let's see what it looks like when we get going here. Now, apologies that some of the stats are sort of stuck behind my head here. Typically, I would sort of play around with that to move it out of the way. But let's see. Ball tracking is a little less jerky than it has been in the past, to be honest. That's definitely an improvement, isn't it? So that's not bad. Let's see, J.D. Davis coming up to the plate now. Now he's batting for the Brewers. He was at the Mets, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure. Strikes out, so that's good to see. So let's have a look at how I would typically run the game. All right, so I've switched things up. So typically I like this, so it goes to home plate for the pitch. We've still got... Yeah, see, that's less good when I play around with it there, isn't it? So I think what we'll do is if we go back in here, we won't follow the ball just so that'll stay still. And yeah, that's just a personal preference. That's you know, different people like different things. So let's see what we can do with the bat. And strike out, so excellent start. To bring up Jeff McNeil, 2-0 pitch. He gets hit. If someone could hit the ball now so we could see the ball tracking and how that goes. As there we go, have some of that. That is gone. And the Mets have started with a home run. There goes the home run horn. A little bit late. Slight delay on that one. I think everyone's in shock that we've hit a home run. We being, of course, the Mets. So it's Lindor with his first of the season. A 2-0 lead for the Mets, which is all very unusual. In comes Pete Alonso. Full count on him. And a strike. So, I mean, the player names and numbers are still there. That's all nice stuff. And, yeah, the thing I think is you occasionally get the commentary doesn't match up with what you're actually looking at. So, hopefully that's something that's going to be improved upon. But otherwise, I've got to say, it does look similar, if I'm being honest. It does look similar, but there's that player development lab is going to be huge. And it does, I think... I don't think this is just sort of new game excitement. I think it does feel a little bit smoother. The one thing I would like to do is get a bigger baseball. I wasn't able to change the size of the ball. Hopefully, that's something that you can do before you go into a game, so that when you go to this bigger screen, the ball's a little bit more visible. But I guess we'll find out further down the line. So yeah, that is that. I'll just sim ahead through the rest of the game. I think we've got a pretty good idea of how the game looks. You know, when you're actually in here playing a game. Is that going to get caught out there? Oh, nice catch out there by Brendan Nimmo. Nicely done, Dreadnought. So probably a good thing we didn't do the whole game, because 6-2, the Brewers won that one in the end. We saw the good part. And that was that. So there we go. That is the game. A very, very quick, non-in-depth look at it. I've got to say, the play development, that to me is everything. I'm so excited to see how that works out over time. But yeah, that is that. Now, if you are new to the channel and you have enjoyed this, make sure you do subscribe and like and all that kind of stuff. One thing that I will say is that if we go back to the start screen here, what I am going to be doing we're going to find out the greatest team in Major League Baseball history. So basically all the World Series winners we're going to use. If you go to New Game and this historical exhibition, we're going to play off all the World Series winners against each other, all the great teams, and do like a March Madness bracket style thing to get down to an Ultimate World Series. And I'm excited for that. Hopefully you will be as well. So make sure you like and ring the bell, all that kind of stuff for that. So hopefully I'll see you for that one. If not, yeah. If you want to, should you buy it? Yeah, I think so. I think first impressions are Play Development Lab is everything. Take care.